I'm Lynn Pitticelli from Design Match, and you are watching Design Chat, where we talk about all things design. And today we're with Tom Jones from MHK Architecture and Planning, and Tom is the senior architect. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Nice for you to sit down and talk to us. How long have you been an architect?
I've been practicing professionally since 1994.
Okay.
And since 1999 in Naples. Yes.
Okay. So we have a couple of questions for you. Maybe
Okay.
you could sort of help us understand more your role and what you're seeing going on and how best clients and designers can work with you. What does good design contribute to lifestyle?
Well, good design contributes to the overall ambiance and environment that we experience every day. And good design accounts for not only environmental concerns or contextual concerns that we might have in the location of our project or environment, but things like scale and proportion and design qualities that reflect how people live and give them a sense of peace and tranquility, give them a sense of comfort in their everyday environment. And a lot of times we don't realize what those things are. We don't sense them right away.
Okay.
But if they're done right, we shouldn't sense them. We shouldn't be looking into a space or feeling uncomfortable in a place because something is not right. So good design does that, but it's seamlessly.
So if you go into a space, or sometimes I'll go into a space and I just don't want to be here, but I don't know why. It has a lot to do with how it's set up or how architecturally it's been designed.
Absolutely. It could be a function of lighting. It could be a function of some of the finishes. It could be a function of the wrong color balance in the space, or the proportions are way off. So the intended use of the space, the user group, the known demographic, they all contribute to how a space should be designed.
That's really interesting. The known demographic and the user group, I think, is important. Now, you've said to me before that design should contribute to social relevance.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you have to look at design on all kinds of levels. There's a macro level all the way down to a micro level, and then there's a personal level, and then there's a social level to it. But we experience design on a lot of levels, from a planning level, from an urban planning level, from how we experience a city or a suburb or the context of a neighborhood, all the way down to how we experience maybe a street environment or a retail setting. So the social qualities come in a sense that how are we engaging society? How are we Is architecture a civic? Is it a civic? Does it have a civic quality? Does it have a civic component to it? Does it have a relevance for the time and place it's in society? And it should reflect that.
Everything you're saying just sort of supports the fact that if you want something done right, you need a professional, need an expert in the field, because these are things that I don't think the average either homeowner or commercial space builder takes into consideration, but is part of your everyday life and your professional life and what you take into consideration.
That's right, and I would respond to that by saying that a lot of times design professionals are seen as a means to an end, maybe a necessary part of a process that you have to include or incorporate. But good design transcends that, and it will add value to what you're doing for a lot of reasons. And I think it's incumbent upon designers to actually educate their clients as to why design brings value added to a project.
Absolutely.
It's not just about aesthetics. It's not just about getting me a permit or getting me just some space that's habitable. There's a lot more to it.
Right, and it's important to have a good team together as
Correct.
an architect, a builder, a designer, and the client. It's a four-part team that has to work seamlessly together.
A lot of synergy. Yes.
So now we in Naples have seen a sort of shift in design, in home design. Is there anything that you're seeing in this new sort of move away from Tuscan look that you think will become a classic?
Yeah, I think Naples is an interesting environment because I think we have a sort of romanticized style issue here. And what I mean by that is if you were to look into the design community just 10 years ago or before the 2008 crash, we were seeing the Tuscan that you referenced or the Mediterranean Italianate design flourish here. And a lot of that was in part because the real estate community may have been telling people that you need to build this in order to resale, or have something sustainable long term, or that's what everybody's doing, or that's what we want to see and have when we come down from the north. We cross an imaginary line and we think this is what we should have.
Exactly.
So what's interesting is that now that times have changed in a sense, where the crash has happened and then everybody's sort of reset themselves going forward, it's interesting that Italianate or Tuscan design is no longer relevant.
Right.
So that just goes to prove that style is never should be a driving factor.
So that was part 1 of my interview with Tom Jones from MHK Architecture and Planning here in Naples. We'll be posting part 2 in the next few days, so stay tuned.